I just moved in with my BF 20M, but I'm not sure if I want to end it. I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for a year now and we just moved in together this month. Everything was going well in the beginning of the relationship, honeymoon phase, but once that wore off, he started struggling with mental health. I encouraged him to seek help and he got diagnosed with depression and bipolar. He started taking meds and doing therapy. Before he got help, I was stressed and wanted to end it for many reasons. He had a sex addiction that made me feel pressure all the time. He also had a spending problem and kept accumulating debt. He also gained a lot of weight, which was fine in the beginning, but it hasn't stopped. I feel bad to say this, but it's starting to be unattractive. Another issue is his addiction to weed and alcohol. It's been on and off, but it affects me mentally. He also has ADHD and he expects me to live at his speed. For example, I feel rushed whenever I eat a meal. He wants to get going as soon as he's done something and he can't seem to understand that I'm not ready. It's just a big stress. It's important to mention he works full-time and I'm in school and have a part-time job. He does not respect my schedule. He expects me to work around his schedule and whatever I have to do waits until later. Since we live together, I got to see how terrible he is at cleaning, which adds to my stress. It's like he doesn't care. He does everything I want him to do, but he just does a terrible job and it looks more dirty after. I offered to show him how to do it, but he refuses to and he says I'm too picky. I recently underwent surgery and can't do much for another week or so. That means another week of him making the mess worse. There's just a lot of things that irritate me and it's way worse since the surgery because I haven't been eating or sleeping well. I'm constantly stressed and don't know if I even love him anymore. I appreciate everything he does for me. He gives me rides everywhere whenever I need, makes sure I'm okay at all times, buys me food, coffee, or any little thing to make me happy. He does really try to make me happy and feel loved, but it seems like it's not enough for my satisfaction. I don't know if I'm just too picky. I feel terrible because it feels like the bad outweighs the good. I don't know if I'm truly unhappy or it's just a rough patch. Am I in the wrong to feel this way? I don't know how to move on from this when he refuses to hear me out. How can I be less harsh on him while telling him what bothers me? Comment. I don't understand why you moved in with him. Can you get out of the lease? You need to leave and leave him ASAP. Things will not get better. If you don't want to live with these worries for your entire life, I would have to say end it now. I was in a similar type relationship with my ex. I stayed for 11 years and had 2 kids. Once kids are in the picture, it is much harder. Then you worry about how he will treat your kids and will they grow up to be like him. You aren't too picky, the two of you just aren't right for each other. Time to dump him and move out. Y'all were far from ready to progress to this stage. Bipolar and ADHD are lifelong things. You're gonna get sucked in if you don't go now. You must decide if you're in it for the long haul. He's an addict. The rest doesn't matter. It will only get worse and he's already addicted to multiple things. You cannot help him with that. I was married to an alcoholic. Take my word, get out now. Who has lived with mental health issues her whole life and has learned from my experiences as a child. I say leave, he's not in a place mentally to support himself, cleaning, caring for someone else more than himself, he's doing the bare minimum. Buying things for you is materialistic, driving you places is nice and convenient. But you having to adjust your schedule around his, dealing with his mental health when he's just started his journey with it, it honestly isn't fair to you. If this man cannot clean up after himself, understand that what you are saying is an honest cry for help in your relationship. If he's always seeing your talks as attacks on him, then I can tell you from experience it will not get better. The stress is going to hurt your physical and mental health. If you are telling yourself that the bad outweighs the good, then you already know the answer. You even said you didn't know if you loved him anymore. Think about you and your life, exclude him for a moment and think of what you need and what he could change, and if he's already showed he won't change or help more, then girl up. I hope you get out of that situation and I hope you heal fast from your surgery. Sending you lots of love. Next story 2. Am I just being delusional for thinking that I and my girlfriend still have a chance? Today me and my girlfriend had a conversation about breaking up. We both are young and very inexperienced. It's a first serious relationship for both of us. We've known each other for 8 years, we met in school, in the same class. No one had the courage to ask one another. 3 years of school have passed and nothing happened, and then another 4 years with no contact in separate schools. Then came December 2022. I had a monotone warehouse job which I hated, all friends are busy, basically I was just a little down and wanted someone to talk to. So I said fuck it and tried to add her as a friend on Facebook. She accepted, we talked a lot, wanted to catch up all the years. We would go out a couple times, and finally in January 2023 I said I love her. Turns out she was waiting all those years for me to say that. Said it was love at first sight, which was true for me as well. Fast forward to now, we've been together for 8 months. Everything was great, we seemed to go in good direction together. It was the best time of my life. Then September came. Holidays are over. She's working Monday, Friday and also has school on weekends, almost no time for anything. We've seen each other 2 times all month. We had plans to watch some movies this weekend at my place after her school. Yesterday, 13 hours of school, pretty rough, I know. She said she was getting ready and will be here soon. After a couple minutes she changed her mind, said it's really cold and she's been a little down lately, never mentioned it before, so she's gonna stay home. I understand it, rough day, rest and don't worry about it. Today, she asked if we could go for a walk together and talk. We met up, went to the park and sat on a bench. She said all the work, school, family, and friends is tiring for her, she can't spend as much time with me as she would like to, and then asked if we should just stop it here. Said she's not good enough, that she's not ready for a long-term relationship yet, all while blaming only herself. After about 1 hour of crying in silence for both of us, I asked if her decision is final. Just said again that she's not ready and she wants to be alone for now. I told her I will wait for her, no matter how long. We hugged and went to our separate homes, while I was still thinking about the words for now. I thought to myself that it's just gonna be a break, we'll think about this and we'll be back together in some time. Am I just being delusional for believing that? Does it even have a chance of working out? I don't want to make problems for her, but at the same time I don't want to lose her. Because I love her. Comment. Keep yourself open to new people and relationships. Block her on everything except email. Tell her to email you if she wants to reconnect romantically. But don't keep up with her social media posts because she may get with another guy and you don't want to deal with that. You can't get over her and move on like that. It could be that she's just dumping you and letting you down easy. That's fine, but either way you have to move on, and the only way to do that is to get her out of your life. I don't know about you, but if I really loved someone, I wouldn't dump them. I'd move heaven and earth to keep connected to them. You're only 21. You found a great girl before. You can find another great girl. Work on yourself and try to make yourself into a desirable man. Exercise and develop your professional life as much as you can. You got this. You can do this. In the life casino everything is on bet. Next turn can be the jackpot, but when you lose too much at one machine, try another one. When people say they aren't good enough for you, it usually ends up being very self-fulfilling. It's frustrating to hear, because in your eyes they are perfect, but you have to let her go. Next story 3. How do I remain sensibly detached from? So I've been speaking to someone for 4 months and it's never been intentionally to start a relationship, and there are some fair roadblocks in the way, international LD and some life circumstances for him. I have spoken to him 3 times a day via email, and due to how my brain works, this is how I bond with people anyway. Looks and such have never been important. Tonight we spoke on the phone for the first time and my face hurts from smiling. I'm also aware that someone communicating in that way has time to sell themselves even better than someone you'd see regularly. I'm ADHD and a massive romantic, so I'm always optimistic about new people and dopamining more often than most. I've explained this and been clear I get super swept up and also don't expect anything to come from this, and he's been awesome. Like he's a gorgeous level of flirty, but always keeps the conversation 90% just day to day and getting to know each other. I've seen pictures and, as I've said, I felt little due to how my brain works, but when I hear from him, I am bothered. Tonight his call was unexpected, but I was beyond happy, and I hate phone calls. Even his voice was surprisingly different to what I expected, and I'm just sad thinking about that. It's likely I won't see him until at least May next year, so I just need tips on how to avoid idealizing him whilst still enjoying all of this lovely conversation and such. Comment. Girl, you are going to fall hard if you wait till May to meet him. You need to see him at his worst ASAP. Oh, and you still like him. LOL, my now husband seemed too good to be true when we first met. I kept him at a distance and watched him for months before I let myself really believe in him. Turns out he was just as good as I thought he was. But definitely try to keep that heart wrapped up till you spend time in RL. That is a great idea. Refer back to that list after every interaction. Remind yourself that your heart is just checking things out and enjoying the ride till you are able to really be with each other. Okay, hear me out and I need you to honestly consider this. Could you be getting strung along as part of a scam? Are his circumstances all financially related? Has he asked you to send him money? How did you two meet in the first place? Why was it so hard to get him to talk on the phone? I'm a hardcore skeptic and this sounds like the exact start of a story where somebody sends $5,000 to their love interest overseas then never hears from them again. Where does the "it will be over a year before I can see him" come from? Webcams exist. Think about flaws, that works for me. They wouldn't put water in a bowl after putting it in the sink so it'll be crusty and hard to clean later. Got stinky feet, they don't sweep. Double dipping, something. Realize that anyone can behave over the phone. You are seeing only one dimension of him. How does he treat waitresses, for example? How would he react to disappointment? There are so many situations you won't see him in, it is very hard to really know someone exclusively over the phone/email. This is an extreme dopamining/hyperfocus situation. Someone who is far away that you can idealize and project your feelings onto. This sounds like a recipe for wasted time and hurt feelings. You need to pace yourself. Spend time away from your phone and computer. Go out with friends. Get distracted by other things.